Well done, Rob. You completely changed the game when you came on. Were you a man on a mission, perhaps frustrated at having had to sit out the most recent games?
Yeah, I think I needed a performance like this today. It's been difficult, getting like ends of the game. Every footballer wants to be on the pitch. The manager has his reasons, but I kept working hard, and today was, it was good for us to win. And for myself personally, I'm happy with my performance and I have to push on.
The first goal, was it about the movement?
Yeah, it's movement. I think with balls from with crosses and stuff throughout the years, my movement in the box has been better. I tried to be less static and try to be on the move all the time, and the cross was a brilliant cross, and then I just came across my man and flicked it in.
And when you won the penalty, you just looked unstoppable. Nothing was going to get you.
Yeah, I think that's preferably my preferred actions. Running into space and using my speed and my power, and then the defender did a contact, and Georgie finished it off for us.
In fact, going into the game, you were 9 points behind the leaders, Man City. Was it vital you picked up all 3 points today?
Yeah, I think we are the hunters now. It's clearly that the last results for us were not the best, and now we have to chase. Every game for us from now until the end of the season is a final. You have to treat them like finals because every game in the Premier League is very difficult. But today we won, and now we have to push on and keep chasing.
Does it feel like you've made a bit of a statement? Level with Liverpool now, prove this is a three-way fight.
I don't know, I think today we had to do our job, we had to win the game. Aston Villa was doing really well in the last couple of games. Credit to Steven Gerrard and his staff and their players. They have a really good team. It was not easy for us. But in the end, our quality came through. And now we have to push on. We have to make sure that every game is a final, win, and that's it.
You did your job. Good to see you back.
Thank you.
Lukaku not being drawn on whether Chelsea made a statement. He certainly made a statement. Was it right from the off, Jamie?
Absolutely. Single-handedly got his team back in this title race. They needed something. They needed a spark. And that's exactly what he brought. Because in the first half, they were going nowhere fast. I'm sure the manager scratching his head, thinking, what do I do? The obvious thing was to bring him on because they struggled so much with Pulisic in the first half as that number 9. And you could see it. This is the first minute of the second half, and what Mings and Konsa had done first half is they bullied Pulisic. It was too easy for them, it was too nice. But straight away, as soon as this ball comes into the box, you can see Mings doesn't want to really go into this area with the goalkeeper. They go crashing into each other. Straight away, you are going to be in a fight for the next 45 minutes. And that pretty much set the tempo. And you could see that Tyrone Mings didn't quite know what was going to happen after that. This is brilliant. This is brilliant movement as well. So intelligent, the way that he gets Konsa and then he rolls him. Can he get it into his feet? No, but then he'll move again. Then he pulls onto what I would call the blind spot of Tyrone Mings. He's reversing, then he goes. And it's a brilliant cross and it's a fantastic flick header. You can see Tyrone Mings gets himself in a really bad position. But I think because of what had happened earlier on, that's just not good enough. So he's almost, to a certain extent, he's lost where he should be. And the power and the physicality and the finesse of Romelu Lukaku has completely done him. It was a brilliant piece of play all round. Intelligence, skill, power and a great finish.
The manager said that he wasn't quite ready to play the 90. It sounded like Lukaku disagreed with him, as you might expect from a player who wants to get out there and get back on the score sheet for the first time since September. He also talked about where he likes to play and his own movement in the box. I don't want to be static in the box. It seemed very gently pointed.
I think so. Jamie spoke about it really well and showed it there on the clips. He's not static, he's moving. If it's not to feet, he's running in behind. He can give you that focal point. And the team seems more confident with him in it. But I think where he was alluding to maybe the space in behind, you find when he plays for Belgium under Martinez, he peels on those where maybe he got the penalty in the last one, where he peels and runs into the space. We're just about to show it now, but this is where he's at his best when I think he's driving. I mean, they've had 2 nibbles at him. There's the first one, they can't stop him. He's get off me, he gets into there again. There's another nibble, nope, and then they eventually have to bring it down. But this, I agree, this is where he's at his best. His hold-up play is significantly improved in Italy, but this is where he's at his best because no one can stop him. Literally no one can stop him, and he plays to his strengths, and this is exactly what he's done to his team. But he does it so well for Belgium, and then look again, it's the same story. The first half, steps up, doesn't look at the ball, constantly looking at the goalkeeper, does guess the right way, but it's just impossible to stop. And I think now with Lukaku back in, the confidence without the side, they are like, right, we're back in it now, we're back in the title race. For me, they're having a big wobble. They've sorted it now, he's back, and they'll grow and grow.
Does it matter where they play him, if they give him more of that role of coming in, or whether they play more as a sort of out-and-out striker? Is that going to have an effect on their title challenge, do you think?
Yeah, I do think Karen's right. He loves that sort of right-sided channel where he can cut in on his left foot. But from minute one, when he came on, he just made such a difference. He just added that confidence. And when you think about the way that Chelsea have played this last few games, yes, it can work without having an out-and-out number 9. You know, they've tried it with so many different players. It didn't work with Pulisic. And as soon as you brought him onto the pitch, everything started to click. You could play deep, you could run in behind. He gives you that focal point. As a midfield player, you can pop it into him and he'll bounce one back to you like this. It was lovely, and that's what you need. So many times they kept losing the ball. They didn't have anyone to get hold of it again. A lovely little bit of hold-up play, bringing people in, should have scored from this chance. It gives them something completely different, Karen, doesn't it?
I think, like, as a number 10, when I used to play, if I had a centre-forward that could stretch, which meant I could have more pocket space, and if I could lend it to someone like him and he could give it me back, it was an absolute joy. Then it just breeds confidence because you've got someone reliable up front. If it's bouncing back or there's no threat, or again, he just, like you said, he kind of came on and caused Mings problems, and that's what you have to do as a centre forward. Always ask them a question, always give him something to think about, and that's what he did. But as a number 10, he's an absolute dream to play with.
Definitely.
And the significance of that win means that Chelsea stay in the title race. They go level on points with Liverpool, and they are 6 points behind Manchester City. 9 would have felt like a huge step for Chelsea to have to make. Is Lukaku key to their title challenge?
Absolutely, yes. And the next 2 games, they go Brighton at home and then Liverpool at home. So they're 2 really good games for them. The games that we're going to find out a lot about this Chelsea side. Had a couple of injuries today. Obviously, Thiago Silva picked one up. But they looked a completely different proposition with him playing up front. And that's through COVID and through injuries, there's not a lot you can do. And it's making it so difficult for managers right now. But when you can get your best players on the pitch, when you get Kante on the pitch, when you get Lukaku on the pitch, Chelsea look a much better side. And of course they're right in this title race. City and Liverpool are, for me, right now the best teams. But Chelsea's got hope that City maybe have a blip, maybe lose a few players through injury or whatever, and hope that things can go their way. But Lukaku is going to be a massive part. If Chelsea are to win it, he's going to play a huge part.
We're only at Christmas, and Aston Villa have just lost to Chelsea, but they've lost to a side that are going to be challenging potentially for the title at the end of the season. With them sitting in mid-table, does it feel like the immediate fear of relegation is gone for them?
Well, the only teams they've lost is Chelsea, Liverpool and City. The rest of them they've won under Gerrard. Gerrard, yeah. And I have seen big improvements. Again, I spoke earlier about the distances, they're more compact. There was a threat the first half in this game, but they brought Reece James on to nullify Ollie Watkins getting them behind. They've just got to bridge that next gap. And I think Steven Gerrard said, look, we're going to go in January and try and find some players that can really kick us on another level. And I think that'll be it. But I think you talk about a new manager's bounce. I think, yes, he's had that, but I think he's top drawer, Gerrard. And again, we spoke about him not being on the side. You know, that would have impacted the home crowd and the team. Maybe they've scored so many goals in the last 10 minutes. I think with him on the side, it maybe they would have gone on another level. But for me, they're fine. I don't see them getting relegated with the players they've got.
Yeah, if they can add to their squad, what do you think Villa are aiming for? They're in 10th at the moment. Is that a kind of realistic and positive target for them?
Yeah, I think Stephen's brief when he came in would have just been to keep them up, because they'd have been panicking. They'd have spent a lot of money in the summer and thought, well, we need to make sure we stay in this league. And there's no doubt under Stephen they will. Adding players and getting the best out of the players that they've bought in the likes of Buendia. You want to see more from him. With Watkins up front, I always think you've got a good chance. Danny Ings, how do you get those two working together? Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it won't. But today there was nothing in it first half. And then Lukaku came on and just bullied, Ḥᴏᴜ and Mings, and that was really the difference of the two teams. That focal point that they certainly had in the second half. But he'd have been proud of his team, but Chelsea just had that extra bit.
Can anybody